Today's sponsors are Angelo's Interiors, specialising in kitchens, bedrooms and bathrooms. Go and visit their showroom today in Gillingham. Their web address is angelosinteriors.com. And De Medici Associates, Chartered Structural and Civil Engineers.
Based in the UK with a worldwide reach.
Visit their website on demediciassociates.com.
Welcome to the Cherrywood Podcast. Yes, I'm ready when you are. Go for it.
Woody Del Rey, take one.
There you go. And stick it on there, then people know your name for a long time.
Like you.
I don't know his name. I have no idea who he is.
I have no idea.
Chris Underwood, Woody Del Rey. Sorry, have I already gone wrong by telling them your real name?
I don't mind. It's just
Bloody
Chris, good friend of mine, Chris Underwood. Do you know Chris?
I do now.
Yeah.
I know Woody, actually.
We've been in bands together.
I know Woody.
Woody Del
We've
Rey.
been in bed together then.
Have we been in bed?
Have you been in bed
I feel like
together?
we
may have
I need to know more about this. Please tell
Do
me.
you know what though? I feel like I've been in a bed with you. When have we been in a
bed?
bed together? I just don't know.
It's all right. We'll all talk amongst
Maybe
ourselves.
we've just imagined that we've been in bed together.
Perhaps you imagined it.
Anyway, we've got Kelly here.
Have you been dreaming about that?
Yes, we've got Kelly here. And we've already had a podcast with Kelly a few weeks ago, but to us it was a few minutes ago, wasn't it, Kel?
It's
Due to the magic of editing.
and it's because it's just lived permanently in my conscious memory ever since.
So Kelly's here, and that's why she doesn't always wear the same stuff.
I should have bought a change of clothes.
Actually, the last one they watched with you in, you were dressed like Myra Hindley, remember? So
What is that look?
Exactly. No, it's just that he likes to say things to be offensive to me because, you know, he's a bit of an idiot.
I get a kick out of it.
He loves it.
So you're a musician, Woody. I'm going to call you Chris and Woody because I can't get...
Okay, you can
Yeah.
flip between the two.
And
that's
so,
fine.
and you're a musician that was once signed. That's correct, isn't it? For a band called Device. We've been in bands together.
We have,
We've
yeah.
done music review channels together,
We have, yeah.
which has been a good laugh.
Yeah.
And you then followed my old footsteps and became a videographer.
It's true. Inspired in part by that.
You weren't inspired by me.
But by doing the stuff that we did with the Musicians Review.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
Okay. Yeah, but not by actual Burridge.
Not by... Well, no, definitely in part by you.
Oh, really? Oh, let's put you closer. Let's get him closer to the mic so everyone can hear that. Can you wait a minute? Let me just adjust. I always end up adjusting mics.
You do,
while
like
recording.
during it, yeah.
Yeah, but it just goes to show how
You need
natural
someone
this all is.
to run on in like a leather waistcoat and quickly sort of do it and then run.
Need a fluffer.
Yeah.
Right.
Fluffer.
Talking there for me, mate.
Hello. Yes, I'm going to talk quite quietly.
That's a lot better. That's a lot better. So tell us
Quite
about
good.
yourself then.
Well, that's a nice summary, really. Yeah. Music mainly, and I spent a long time working as a music journalist. Actually, a magazine that was based sort of not far from here in what's it called, Borough Green? Is that near here?
It's not far. Yeah.
I know Borough Green quite well.
And then ended up working Scotland Yard in PR, which is quite weird, and then various PR jobs, which was quite
Tangential.
well, kind of, yeah. It was a bit of a strange one because basically I was writing for the magazines, which is great, and essentially this was long enough ago that it was at the point at where everything was going online, and almost all of the magazines that I worked for, because I worked freelance primarily, did a little bit of. I was sort of deputy contributing editor on one, but I did freelance for the others. They all basically went under. Like they were all music magazines, and they all literally went under. I had, I think it was 1 week where I had letters from Deloitte, who were like an administrator, saying, you know, this company owes you about $3,000. Well, you're going to get about 50p, and it happened 3 times 1 week. And that entire industry, they're all gone now. All those magazines are gone. So I was like, well, I've not really got any experience or sort of skills in anything else, particularly other than the music stuff. So I went into a deco, I think it was, in Croydon, and just said, look, I need a job. I can type quite fast.
You're a pretty good wordsmith, though, Chris.
Well, that's what I said. I said I've been working as a journalist, a music journalist, but I doubt a Deco Croydon is going to have many music journalist jobs going. And he said, well, we haven't, but so you've been writing, right?
Yep.
And I said, well, funny enough, a job's just come in and we can't fill it because there's no one suitable for somebody to work in the PR team at Scotland Yard. And I was like, well, I've just been a music journalist. And I went along and they said, well, you can write. So they gave me the job.
And then, transferable skills, that really is the thing. It's kind of what I do at the moment and for the charity I work for. But it's so easy to say, I've only ever done this, rather than break it down into all of the parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Make it up.
Yeah.
And then you realise, actually,
Yeah.
You just look at the job title and think, I've never done that. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
But when you look at all of the little parts, the components of it, you suddenly realise, I can do all of those things. So.
But what I always told people was the reason I ended up working at Scotland Yard is because I learned to play the guitar. Because basically how I ended up as a music journalist was also completely by chance. I can talk about this as well if you want, but my band had a little bit of success in America and had a little bit of radio play in America. And we'd gone out and done a load of gigs there, and I'd written a diary of it. I actually, full disclosure, I failed my English language GCSE. So that was the kind of level I was at. And I wrote this diary, and I think one of the bands said, why don't you send that into a magazine? The magazine might be interested in that. So I sent it to a magazine that existed at the time called Making Music. I don't know if you remember that. And the editor, deputy editor, a guy called Barney, the one who set up the magazine in Borough Green, called me up and he said, I love this. This is great. Can we run it as a regular feature for the rest of the year? As a feature in the magazine? We have a front. I was like, yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah. And anyway, as it was kind of running,
they pay you for it.
Yeah. And as it was running on, he said, well, obviously you can write. Can you do others? Do you want to write some other stuff for us? And I was like, yeah, of course. Yeah, that'd be great. And basically then that Making Music folded and he started this other magazine called Play Music. And he called me up again and said, given that I had no journalistic experience at all up to that point, he called me up and said, would you like to come in as the deputy editor on this new magazine, music magazine?
I've done that because. And tell me how long. Sorry, I do this every time. I go straight in the middle of a guest. How long do you think before it falls off the wall? I've pushed it again.
I'll give it 1 minute.
Really?
Exactly.
I've just pushed it again. I'm giving you another chance.
7 minutes.
Okay, 7 minutes from now.
7.
So it's 20 past. Right,
I'm going to give it 4 minutes, 17
That's 11 minutes past. So you said 7 minutes, so we're going to go 18 minutes past. Okay. Sorry, Chris. I'm really sorry to
win a prize if I get it right?
You get £100 to a charity of your choice, but the nearest is about 2 seconds away.
I'll be alive.
Anyway, sorry. I'm really sorry to jumping in.
Right, no, not at all.
So the band you was with is device as well.
Deputy editor.
Yeah. So suddenly, going from nothing, I was suddenly like the deputy editor on this new music magazine. And then, of course, when that folded, I got this job because I'd been doing the writing. I got this job at Scotland Yard. So, but the only reason I'd got the job writing is because my band had done the tour in America.
It's amazing how it all
So
connects,
the reason that I ended up at Scotland Yard was because I learned to play the guitar. So
it's cosmic.
And
you're part of the cosmic plan.
Yeah. And you're originally from Colchester, that's right, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
And the only other person out of Colchester at the same time as Damon Albarn, is that right as well?
Well, something that's always kind of bugged me a little bit is...
Did you make your songs?
No, but I wanted to go to Colchester Sixth Form College, but instead I went to the sixth form that was at my school.
Right.
And I deeply regret that, because if I'd gone to Colchester Sixth Form College, obviously I played guitar, and they were looking for guitarists for the band.
Oh, man.
So I went to the wrong sixth form. Yeah.
He's the same age as well, isn't he?
He's a little bit older. He's a couple of years older.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But so what might have been, but I have this theory, and it's from, you'd like this because it kind of comes from I read this really good book years ago about writing Hollywood scripts, and every film follows this pattern. Every story ever follows this very specific pattern. You have the person, sort of going off on a tangent a bit, but this is kind of interesting. You have the person who's like the protagonist, like the main character, and they're everything from Star Wars to whatever, name it. You have, and you start off with them in their world, and then they go, and then the film sort of starts when they enter this other world, and there's always either a character, always, or a thing that takes them into this other world. Yeah, and that's the name. They call that the threshold guardian, and they bring them into this other world.
Take them in over, yeah.
And then they have this experience where they have to deal with the situation and get over it, and that's the first hump. And then that builds into a much more extreme hump as the second bit, which is where they're in real jeopardy. Whatever, it's a love story, comedy, anything, always the same. And then at the end, it's resolved, and they go back to their original way, but they're changed and improved somehow. But that's kind of like the Hollywood. Every film follows that pattern. And but what I sort of thought for me is there's often been people, and you might be one actually, who are these threshold guardians.
Right.
So this guy, whose name is Barney Jameson, who was the guy that was writing for Making Music when I sent that story in, and he was at that point the threshold guardian who took me out of a situation into another. And likewise, actually before that, the guy Dave Veer, his name was, the DJ at the original radio station in Boston who started playing our songs, he was as well. Yeah. And then funnily enough, the person a Deco.
I was going to say the person at Deco.
So you kind of get these,
you get these
people who kind of.
It was only a matter of time before he dropped
that
something.
went before the sign.
Yeah.
I might have to retune.
That was 4 minutes. That was 4 minutes 17 seconds. It was.
Yeah. So you meant the guitar, not the sign.
I meant the sign. But if I know you, of course you're going to drop your guitar.
That's quite shiny there. That was a stupid thing to do.
Yeah. Well done, though.
Sorry, I was excited. But yeah, so I really like this concept of the threshold guardian who sort of takes you meet, and the problem is if you try to plan, well, certainly for me, if you try to plan this kind of have this 5-year plan. So it's cold in here, so my nose is dripping, which isn't nice. If you try to plan, then I don't think you can do that.
No.
But these people, you never know when they're going to come along.
No.
That's right.
And how they're going to. And sorry to just do a massive name check here, which I kind of wish that I'd followed his advice at the time. But when I was a journalist, so I was chatting to Beck about.
Oh my God, I've died.
And he said, I said, well, how did you start your career? And he goes, actually, funny thing about when there's more funny bits.
Did you touch him?
Well, it's a fun.
Did you touch him?
Well, I probably gave him a hug or something. At the end of the interview. But it's a funny. There's a little funny pre-story to that because I was interviewing him up in Manchester.
Yeah.
And because it was back in the day when music industry had money and was swanky and everything,
it was cool.
They put me. I got a first-class train up to Manchester from London.
Were you as blue as a boy can be that you weren't walking in Memphis? Sorry, no, go on.
I was quite pissed.
Okay.
Because they give you, obviously, first class, they give you as much drink as you want. Maybe I was like a little bit nervous.
Manchester.
So when I walked in to meet him and he was sitting in the room, he was doing a gig at, I can't remember what the venue was. But so we were he was backstage just sort of relaxing.
Looking beautiful.
And and I walked in and he just looks, and I must have probably seemed a bit pissed. And he just goes, "You all right, man?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine, mate. Don't worry about it." But you're all right.
It's all right. You're right this side.
It's a story not interesting enough for you.
No, I'm really sorry. It's just Rachel's in hospital.
Oh, sorry. Of course.
I'm having to keep an eye on stuff. I am listening to you. Go on, carry on.
So
you're all right, man. Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He looked genuinely concerned because obviously I probably seemed quite drunk. And he was like, "You okay, man?"
And we always think we're fine, but actually we seem a lot more steaming than we are.
And he just split up with Winona Ryder at the time.
It's because he knew that he actually needed to find me.
And he was in quite a but he's getting quite a lot of hassle in the media. And he was kind of like really slagging off journalists. And I just went in and I said, mate, listen, I don't give a toss about you and Winona Ryder and whatever. I want to talk about how you write your songs, how you kind of record them. And he was like, yeah, cool, man. So but anyway, he said, I want to talk about him, about how he started. And he goes, the thing was, I never, what you have to do, and I think this is completely true, and I wish I'd done it, is don't think about the end game of like everyone always sort of thinks about like winning the lottery, like we just got to, I was awful for it's like, right, we've got to get a record deal, got to get signed, got to get the business, and he said no, don't do that, just work really hard on your craft. And if you're really good and you work really hard and you put your soul into that, heart and soul into that, naturally it'll happen. But if you chase it, it'll sort of run away. Amen. Yeah, and I think
I agree.
Yeah,
if there's if you invest any time in a plan B, your plan A will never ever come to fruition.
Yeah, that's right.
When people talk about 5-year plans, why? I don't know what's going to happen when I walk out the door of this building. I haven't got a 5-minute plan. I cannot. When people say, "Oh no, we need to get all that sorted out for like 6 years."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But to me, I always think. Somebody said, I think it's my daughter said this expression about trying to catch a butterfly. But to me, it's more like trying to get a kitten to come towards you. If you're chasing it, and you should just sit and
wait for it,
and it'll come to you.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think for me at that time, I was literally like driving a bulldozer after this kitten.
It's already changed.
trying to scoop it up in a bulldozer, and it was like it was never going to happen.
Pick up a balloon. If you move, and a balloon will always just fit. Yeah,
never. Doing what you believe in.
Yeah.
And,
I've now joined the Church of Beck, so I'll be leaving to become a postulant this afternoon.
But he was very cool. But it was quite.
He still is.
Yeah.
When I saw Black Keys.
Whatever happened to Winona Ryder as well? I don't need to see her anymore, do you?
She's in Stranger Things. She plays the maid.
She's the maid.
She's doing well, isn't she?
Yeah, she's doing all right.
Yeah.
She's done all right from that shoplifting saga, isn't she?
We all have dark days. Look at you. You're in your dark
era. What was that all about? Yeah. But it was, you could tell he was sort of like, because at the time I went to a lot of gigs and did a lot of interviews and things, but you could tell he was like a proper star because he was doing an acoustic show, just him with a harmonica. But you went backstage and guitar and harmonica, harmonica.
Yeah, harmonica.
But you went backstage and he just had loads of people like working for him, and like all this like buffet laid on and everything, and he goes, just one guy with a harmonica and he's got about a crew of about 50 people. That's pretty A-list.
I went to see Black Keys earlier this year not only this year.
I love that new song.
It's really great, isn't it, with him?
Yeah.
And
sounds quite Beck, actually.
I don't know if they were recording it because I think Beck lives in Paris.
Right. Seems like the kind of place he lives in Paris. Live, yeah.
And so we went to see them. They were great. 2023 in Paris, and then it came time for the sort of last song or the encore, and I saw somebody in the wings, and I thought that is Beck. That is definitely Beck, and I may have lost the entire capacity to hold on to my sanity, burst into tears as all these French people like, what is she doing? And then they said, we're just going to bring our friend on to help us with this last song. And I was like, it's Beck! And then he walked on and started playing Loser, and I lost it.
Appropriately
lost it. But oh my gosh, because he does make me a bit excited. Anyway,
he's pretty cool dude, isn't he?
Yeah, I've had quite a lot of caffeine.
But enough about Beck. What about me?
What about Woody Del Rey?
Talk about Device then. So you toured America with Device. How many albums? 3 albums?
This just 2.
2 albums.
This is the third one now.
Just the 2.
That's right. And now, how many years later? We're talking 20 years, 25?
16 years later.
Oh, right. Okay. Is it only 16 from the tour? Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Simon's really good at information.
Yeah.
37 years later. Was about 40 years now.
And there was also a documentary filmed on that tour.
Yeah, there was.
And you don't like that documentary.
I've kind of got more used to it.
You feel that you've been painted in a wrong light.
Well,
I agree with the light.
they kind of had to, they had to sort of make a story out of it, I suppose.
Of course.
But interestingly, I mean, in a way, watching it goes back to literally what we were just talking about, because it's very weird when you watch. They filmed this thing over way too long a time period.
Right.
So basically, when the whole America thing kicked off, they thought, oh right, we'll get in on this.
Yeah.
We're going to follow this band. They're going to be big. This is going to take off, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But they kept filming for like about a couple of years, like literally.
Oh, God, really?
Which is maybe longer.
Invasive. It's got to feel like Truman Show,
if you look at it, that might be that they actually believed in you, that something.
Well, they did at first. Yeah, they did at first.
Was that Truman Show-esque? Did that make you feel slightly like you were going?
Yeah, a little bit, because they would come if you're going to the pub or something, they'd come and film it. But what was weird was watching the film. So you watch your life on camera for like an hour and a half.
From a different
And at the end, when the credits rolled, I was like, wow, that feels really strange.
I'm so glad that you let me know about that so I could watch it, so I had a little bit of background.
Yeah. You've got a point. The thing is, it's quite hard to find, but you've definitely sent me. It's online.
It's on Vimeo, yeah. It's called Dreams and Demons.
Dreams and Demons.
And there's a production company called Leaf Storm that made it.
Yeah, I found it good. And it addressed his time... his timekeeping, which I've experienced.
I've just got a lot better.
You have got a lot better. You've definitely reduced the hour to half an hour, because you was only half an hour late.
That wasn't my fault today.
No, it was trains today. You have got a lot better. Yeah. But it's hard, because if you can't do time, you can't do time.
No,
unfortunately.
it's not a choice. And people get very frustrated with it and say
I'm very good at it. I'm very good at timekeeping.
It's not a choice. It's something we don't have a capacity
of. I'm very good at I'm very good at backwards working out how long it's going to take.
See, I'm very bad at that.
Yeah, I know you are.
I think that's I think I'm just I think it's like a sort of like a time dyslexia almost.
It's a neurodivergence that we can't help.
But
much better way of putting it.
There's times we could say we're meeting at 7 p.m. and I know he hasn't even left his house at 7 p.m.
Yeah.
But I also, because my wife always says about this, but I always feel that I can fit a lot more into. She goes, "How are you going to do that in that time?" She goes, you haven't got enough time to do all that. So I don't understand.
See, I'm the opposite. So if I know that I've got to, say something's happening at 4:00 in the afternoon, I cannot then do anything beforehand because of the panic that I might miss the thing that I'm supposed to do at 4.
Right. Okay. So that is the different version.
It's almost like. And I will find myself constantly going, how many hours have I got, and count backwards, and when do I need to get into the shower, when do I need to what if that doesn't leave me with, and I would obsess then over that. So we've got similar but opposite.
But opposite, yeah. There was one famous time that my wife will always tell you about, where we were going to, I was living in Birmingham, we were going to a gig in London, and she said, and it was tight as it was, and I went to do my laundry because I was just like living in a house shut or something. And she said, what are you doing? We've got to go in about half an hour. And you go, yeah, I've got time to quickly. I go, no, you haven't. No. So it's kind of like not understanding.
You have got time, like you say, it's a time dyslexia.
No,
it is.
But
somebody will know somebody will know either what the name of that is or what.
Maybe they're,
And that's the only thing I'm not dyslexic with is time. I'm really good with time. Like even when I shot the Tab Theory, it called in to plan on all the timings and everything.
You are.
But you know, the worst thing that anyone can do for me is arrive early. To me, that's worse than arriving late.
No. And I used to. I always arrive about a quarter of an hour early.
Yeah, because I'm not.
He's never ready.
I love it when people phone me and say I'm running about half an hour late, because it gives me I buy back that bit of time.
We used to add an hour onto Woody. I've spent more time without him in a rehearsal studio, playing with the drummer and the guitar, or wherever the other person were keyboard player.
I used to be a lot worse.
Yeah.
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 And that was mentioned in the documentary a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think the other bandmates are getting frustrated, weren't they?
Yeah.
But
the thing is, I know you're a nice guy, and you're not doing it on purpose. That's the thing.
But also, if they were shot you for that long, something, and it's only an hour and a half in the documentary, something that might be mentioned once.
Coming closer.
Well, the thing is, it's the angle. I can't look at people and talk that it's like,
There we go.
You can do that.
I feel like, yeah, but then I've got my...
Coming closer. I said, come
I don't want to be that close to you.
Come right in.
It might be something...
Come in. Your backup rate.
It might be something that happens once or is mentioned once or twice over the span of 2-3 years, but in an hour and a half, the percentage of that makes it seem...
Yeah.
What? I don't like it.
I understand. But it can be over a week.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
With him, it can be over a week.
Perspective.
And you're
Perspective.
Like,
And it can make it seem like there's...
They needed to make a story from something.
But also, what it showed me was this person, and actually, I think this is quite interesting as well. This person who was me in the film, who's desperate to have the success and recognition,
driving the bulldozer,
frantically, chasing, and you can see it in this film, and that's not thinking about the songs and the writing and enjoying, and that's the worst thing. Not enjoying it so much.
Yeah.
And there's a scene in the film, and this is like a kind of quite an important, like philosophical lesson in a way. It's always sort of how you frame your situation.
Yeah.
So like there's a bit in the film where we're standing outside this venue in New York, and it's Halloween, and we know that we haven't sold a lot of tickets to this gig. It's kind of quite empty, and I'm sort of doing not a piece of camera, like an interview, and I'm clearly like really pissed off, and I'm going, oh fuck's sake, there's nobody. Barely anybody in there. We've just driven all the way down from blah, blah, blah. This is like really sort of negative.
Yeah, but you're passing that negativity over then, aren't you?
Yeah, and I thought that exact same person could stand there and go, well, not that the venue's not full, but look, I'm in New York with my best mates about to do a gig. This is freaking awesome. Yeah. And that could be exactly the same situation.
Yeah.
But how you frame it makes all the difference.
But we can have conscious effects over that, but also sometimes it's just how it is. Like sometimes I've got no milk left and I think, it's a lovely sunny day, I don't mind taking a little skip to the shop. Other days it's crapping it down with rain, and I think,
and you were young as
well.
So
it's okay. It's all right.
Just ridiculous, just focused on this end.
Sometimes we've got to give ourselves a pass.
Sometimes you have to live a bit
just enjoy
to
it.
learn this stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously you went back to back to Boston. You went to Boston to record something at the end of last year.
Yeah, that was amazing.
And I was gutted because I was going to go and film
Yeah.
So I was in LA.
And you know what? I wish you had, because there's just not enough footage of me in it. Well, no, that sounds not to sound conceited, but like, because I'm filming all the time, I'm barely in it.
Of course. You
and
should
I'm
have stuck on a tripod and done a bit.
Yeah, well, I didn't have enough luggage to bring a big tripod.
I see.
So
right, okay.
Actually, funny enough, the in-house guy, his wife is a filmmaker, and he said, "Do you want her to come in and film some of it?" But she was charging quite a lot, and I was like, "I'll just do it myself." But I wish if only you'd been there. Yeah,
I know. I was in LA at the time, and then I had to come back, and it was my daughter's 13th birthday, and I just couldn't logistically get back out to
it would have been crazy
to Boston.
Yeah.
And Woody is also really good at working out timings for trains and things. So he said, "Come, fly in." He said, "Fly into New York." It wasn't Boston you was in, was it?
Well, it was Massachusetts.
Yeah. So he said, "Fly into New York," and then it's just an hour train thing. So I thouought, I know Woody. I'm going to go and see 4-hour train. Yeah. 4-hour train journey.
It's quite a way.
Not to New Haven. It's about 2 hours.
It was. I got all the information you gave me, and it said 4-hour train journey. Right. I would have landed at something like 5 p.m. and then gone on a 4-hour train journey.
That would have been lovely.
To somewhere I've never been.
But
I just got back from LA. I'd have been exhausted.
Yeah, but I'd have got some.
Could you not have flown from LA?
No, because he had to go home for his daughter's birthday.
Could you not have flown Tilly out with you?
No.
Why?
No, because then I'd fly everyone else out, wouldn't I?
No.
Don't want to do that.
When she's 13, she could have had an experiential moment.
Yeah, I'm sure her mum would have loved not to have seen her on her 13th birthday.
It's
just
a day.
Yeah. Well,
it would have meant some good footage,
and I would have really loved it. And I was trying to go through every scenario to get.
It's a shame, because if it had been any other time,
I would have been there.
Yeah,
I'd have been there.
The bells on.
Yeah. It's a shame. But you're proud of the album? How many did you do? How many songs?
We did sort of nearly 10.
Oh, right.
8, 9.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So it's sort of in the post-production phase.
I love the one you sent me. I thought it was very good. Very mature is what I said.
I love the one that he shared with me so that I'd heard it as well.
Is that?
No, it's not true. No, because he didn't.
Look, but, this is all very last minute because my wife's in hospital. All right.
Yeah.
So now people on the podcast think I'm really upset.
That's a great excuse for a lot of things, actually.
Yeah, but I'm in a position where I don't know when she's coming out of hospital. So she could have come out yesterday.
Yeah.
But then they held her back again. So it's hard for me to plan anything. I've done my best.
Even if she came out of hospital, she couldn't have been here today, even if you'd have dragged her.
She would have come here. I know what she's like.
And you would have made her, and it's not okay.
It's not like that. She's the one that wants to do it. This is funny. She texted me, said, I'm really missing doing the podcast. So I thought, I'm going to take the podcast to her. So I filmed myself in the car. I said, I'm just outside the hospital. I'm not going to film any of the hospital, I said, on this thing. And I said, but I'm going to go straight to her bed and surprise her with the podcast. So I filmed all that. And I went to the hospital, pushed record just before I got to her bed. Went, hey, I'm here as a surprise to the podcast. I know you're missing it. Do you want to film it? She went, nah. I was like, okay, I just got recording.
Who's going to want to film in a hospital? Was she in a hospital bed?
Yeah.
She said if it was yesterday, the day before, where she wasn't in pain, she would have done it.
Really?
She would have done it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just that she had changed medication and she was in a lot of pain and she did.
Because I've always said, you know, when you, like on a news report and you get someone in a hospital bed or in any bad way
they don't want to be talking.
Yeah, I'm always going to if I'm ever in that situation, I never want to be that person.
But I think that's right. If you're in pain.
Yeah. Yeah, the day before she was fine, but just so happens at that time she was.
No way.
They changed the medication.
Right.
She would have been well up for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
She's always up for it.
But that's hilarious. That was hilarious to have. I'm here. I've done what you
always up for it. Is our right.
Wow, impressive.
Good.
Jeez.
Good. So how do we know each other? We were introduced by a drummer, didn't we? Jamie.
Yeah.
And,
right.
Jamie.
Selby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were introduced by Selby.
I know
Performed with him, haven't you?
Yeah. And
he's performed with everyone, hasn't he?
I've sort of been in touch with you ever since. We've done a lot together, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've been we got onto Radio 6 introducing with Tom.
That was great.
Ravenscroft.
With
Tom Ravenscroft?
No, better than that. What's his name?
Robinson. Tom Robinson?
Yeah.
That don't sound right. Is that right?
2, 4, 6, 8, never 2.
Him, yeah. 2, 5, 6, 8. Motorway. Yeah, him.
We got onto
He
that.
had a show on
Radio
Radio 6.
trucking on through the night.
So we had the song Hey Buzz.
He loved it, yeah.
He loved it.
Yeah, it was a nice song.
But we didn't have a drummer, did we? And he's like, he said something like, isn't this something special? But one thing I can't do is tell you where this band is gigging.
Yeah.
We literally, we couldn't do
get
it.
a gig.
Yeah.
We gigged without a drummer once. That's how desperate. Oh.
11:36:07.
Oh, what was that?
Well, I can't remember what you said.
I said 17 minutes, but it was almost...
Nah, I don't think you got that.
I think that's
It was well over, isn't it?
Yeah. At least it fell off the wall. I didn't think it was going to.
It's nice because it's a bit like a plot line in a film because you'd sort of forgotten about it.
What's that for?
You're fiddling with your hands.
It fell off once we'd all forgotten about it, which is the right time for it to
It's
go.
perfect,
If we're all sort of waiting for it.
I agree.
Sometimes we stare at it and talk about it and it falls off the wall.
Wow.
Really weird. Yeah. But I say really weird, but it's going to happen at some point, isn't it?
Well, it's like the pink gunk in Ghostbusters 2. If you shout at it, it jumps about.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. I'm glad this is our last one.
So am I.
It might not be your last one.
I know.
You're good at it. You're natural.
I think that actually what we should do is we should get rid of Simon. We'll keep Rach, and you and I do it. Or just me and Rach.
Yeah,
that's true.
There we go.
That's true. So we did that. And that's how we first met because you were writing original stuff and you needed a bass player. Came along with a few bass lines which you were happy with, and we seemed to connect quite well, didn't we?
Yeah, and had some really good songs as well. Yeah, really. I was listening to Kill the Lights in the car the other day.
I used that on here.
Great.
It's
a great bass line.
No one knows this, but so There Is a Star is the intro to this. And Kill the Lights I use sometimes when I'm doing
I saw it on one of these. Yeah.
When I'm doing like a 90-second promo. Kill the Lights is in there. So
with Dan's keyboard.
Yeah, keyboard. I see Dan quite a lot because he's round this way, and he's doing well.
Invite you. That's nice.
We do invite
you. Thanks
but we do invite you.
But you're always late.
It's hard at the moment because it's just a distance.
What happened? It was. There's some. You did invite me.
We do attempt to invite him, but it's just the thing is, we would if we lived near each other, the projects me and him would be on together.
Yeah,
and it's just the distance that messes us up, and it's not even that far. He's only you're East London.
He's South East London. It's not far. Yeah, Sydenham. Yeah,
but it's just I know he's going to be late for everything.
Yeah,
I just know he's going to be late for everything, Kel.
But I think we have a quite. I don't know, quite sort of maybe quite similar, quite childish sort of sense of humour, but sort of quite. Do you know what I mean?
So, no. I find that to be unbelievable.
We used to do the Musicians Review channel. Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
I did see. See there. That's why I don't send you anything because I sent you that. 100% sent you that.
You didn't.
I did ages ago. And we used to review.
Do it again. Send it again.
It's still there. You'll be able to find it on Facebook. You'll be able to find it on YouTube.
It's not the YouTube channels there. One of them's got 20, 30,000, 40,000 views now.
It's considering we've done nothing with it, but we used to have a laugh with that.
It was great.
We used to get equipment used to be sent to us.
Resurrect that?
Yeah,
I'd love to. Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah,
just time. Really,
it did take a lot of time. Basically, what it was, it was like musical gear reviews, like everything from microphones, guitars, anything. But we just do like really stupid, irreverent reviews of them. So like that one, and like invent characters and stuff, and they were like they weren't really reviews. It was funny. They were kind of reviews.
Could you not do like every fourth one of these?
Some people loved it, and some people
were like, "What the hell is this?"
Every fourth one of these, or every eighth one of these.
We could do something in here. It's quite a convenient place.
Like a special one.
There was no such thing really as podcasts when we did that, was there?
No,
really. Really?
It was, because that must have been about 10 years ago.
I think that's worth exploration.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a laugh. And we did one.
Simon dressed up as an alien, things like that.
The alien one. Yeah.
People were like, what the hell is this?
You've got to watch it.
I will do.
Some of the intros in that are hilarious. Well, I was that alien. I was wearing a green suit, so only my head would appear, wouldn't it? But you could still roughly, because it was so badly done, you could still roughly see the outside of my body go. And that time when we tried out a wireless guitar
on the lake,
and we put him on a pedalo, and we put a little amp on the side. We put a little amp on the side of the lake. This is Crystal Palace Park.
Yeah.
And he just pedalled out, and we see how far he could go before it disconnected. Something like 50 metres, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, that's where the dinosaurs are, isn't it? They used to scare the life out of me when I was a kid.
He told me about that. I never knew anything about that. But
there was one on the floor, like a flat thing that looked like a woodlouse, and it really scared me when I was a kid.
That was what's that? Early 1800s? Or?
Yeah, they were the first ever.
I was not a child in the early 1800s.
But that's when they were created.
First ever image of dinosaurs. Yeah. So everything from dinosaurs is followed from that. Yeah,
amazing.
Pretty cool. But what was that? Oh, when you were like the hippie.
Oh, yeah.
He loves that character. That comes out quite a lot. That kind of character, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Crystal Palace stage. Because the Crystal Palace laptop stage, isn't it?
I was thinking about that.
Oh, yeah, the hippie character, yeah.
It's definitely, there's something...
This was an old rocker.
But there's something inherently in you that has this little odd character in it. It just emerges every now and then, and I quite enjoy it.
But not to sort of massage your ego too much, but I think you're like you have a talent for acting, and you obviously enjoy dressing up and being characters.
Let's just take all this in, Kel.
Seriously, like for somebody it's like never, because you've never
acted before.
Someone that hasn't got a brain, never trained,
it's quite simple.
Is barely literate.
I tell myself I'm very illiterate.
I know, that's why I said it.
But I tell myself one thing when I'm acting, and that is be normal. Just be normal.
Yep.
Don't overdo it. Just don't overdo it. Just be yourself. You're obviously you're being a character, but just act like you're in that moment. That's all you got to do.
In the way,
and you get these people. They hear the word action, and they're just so over the top. You're like, this is shite.
Yeah.
But as a director, I'm happy to say, look, just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Do whatever you like, but just don't be crap.
Yeah, just don't overdo it.
But do you know, it's the same. It's the same with dancing. You watch most people. Unless there's something really, 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 really awkward going on, people will naturally walk in opposition because it's biomechanics. It's the way that we walk. You tell someone that they're dancing, and immediately they go, boom. Why? It's just walking. Dancing is walking. Acting is being a person. Dancing is walking. But for some reason, as soon as you make it a thing, the ability to function.
And am I right in saying, really, the way
it's gone, completely is gone.
Sorry to jump in, but singing is talking.
Yeah.
Singing is talking.
Yeah.
That's why most actors or comedy actors, voice actors, effectively should be able to sing, because it's just manipulating your voice in a different way.
Yeah, like some people push it out so hard they wonder why their throat's gone, and I'm terrible with that as well.
That's the location of it as well.
But it's, it is when you tell yourself you're just talking, but you're talking in a more melodic sort of way.
Yeah, or in
you last longer.
With different intonation.
But also with with acting, don't you think if you ever see someone who's not very good at acting, you immediately, your main thought is, that's terrible acting, they're so bad at acting, this is awful. That's the first, it's very it's almost uncomfortable to watch somebody who's bad at acting.
But then also the actor will often get the finger pointed at them and not the director, and actually the director's job is to coax out the performance, and the casting director who put them in the role in the first place, who possibly shouldn't have done it. And sometimes I feel a bit sorry for the actor who's in the middle, who's like, well, they didn't give themselves the part or the job, and they didn't make the decisions about what was going to happen in that scene, and they didn't make the cuts that made it look like that. And
but it's almost a bit like a little bit like editing, because if it's a good edit, you don't think about the edit, and if it's good acting, you forget that they're acting almost. Which is I don't think about you acting when I see you acting. It's just the character, which must be good acting. But you think about but children can do it. If you watch, talking about, you said something about Stranger Things earlier, those kids, when you watch, you don't think, watch them all act. No. You're believing them. So, but
Daniel Radcliffe in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Harry Potter. Daniel Radcliffe.
I think the same. The other two know. Quality, the other two know him, yes. Yeah.
But I saw, I don't know if you ever watched, do you watch Modern Family?
Yeah.
And there was an episode with Chris Martin in it as a kind of guest character. I mean, he could not act.
Yeah.
And it was just
barely be Chris Martin. He is painful as a being.
It was quite painful. And
Chris Martin TM.
If you want to know what it feels like to watch somebody not being able to act, watch him in that, and that's the difference. Sorry,
we've mentioned Chris Martin.
We've not mentioned Chris Martin and Beck in the same podcast.
You've made me peak, and then
I know quite a few extras that have been extras for years and years, and I've given them the opportunity to think, and I'm like, oh my God, they're all right as an extra.
You just can't do it.
Once they open their mouths, it's so fake.
Yeah.
It's so fake. Yeah.
Is it overthinking it a bit? Maybe?
Yeah, overthinking, trying too hard.
Being an actor.
Trying too hard. Yeah.
But then there's also that real difference, depending on if they have trained or if they've been to any kind of the difference between theatrical
different types of acting
and screen acting, and because in the theatre and everything, I mean,
projection and all that,
really simple, but being huge, to being so tiny, macro and micro, and a lot of people can't do that transition. And the same if you put a film actor or a TV actor on the stage, that transition's not always going to work very well either.
I'd like to see you do serious drama.
I'd like to have a go at
serious see what you like, because I suppose because you've only really done those comedy roles,
comedy stuff,
and that is also your standard approach to everything. If something's a bit uncomfortable, a bit difficult, let me just turn it into the funniest thing I can. I think that's a.
But it'd be good to see. I'd be interested to see that.
See how you manage.
I've done an advert recently. It was for a roofing company, and I was a landlord.
Oh, right.
And it was all going wrong on my phone while I was having a meal with, funny enough, Rach, because we did this mock-up thing for someone, and I had to be serious in that. So I was on the phone and she was my date, and she left because I was still dealing with something that had gone wrong in someone's house type thing. And that was all right. Didn't have to say much, but I think I looked paid off enough and natural enough. I sent it to you.
Obviously, that was a real soul-searching part that you really had to get there. I don't think that's quite what Woody's talking about. I'd like to see you do some serious acting.
I understand.
I was a hacked-off landlord with my phone.
Yeah, no, I know where you're coming from, but that's literally all I've done that hasn't been comedy.
Okay. Well,
the other thing I would struggle with is lines. I think I would struggle with lines.
Learn them. you get somebody to read them to you, or you record them and then you listen back to them.
But with that, it's all about how much you want it.
Also, I said you've only done, but you've all the musicians review channel stuff. Loads of that was acting, but it was ad libbing.
It was messing about. Wasn't it? It was messing about. All this is acting. Well, it's not acting. We're being ourselves, but you've got to do something.
Different facets. When people say what you see is what you get, it's not true, is it? Because nobody's ever 100% the same person everywhere. That would be odd if you were only one-dimensional.
Well, this is what I'm very good at. So if I'm doing a wedding and it's a couple of cockneys there, and I go cockney. But if it's really posh, then I don't go.
Then you go really cockney.
But I go reasonable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I adapt to people. So there's no real. In a way, I do it so much. There's no real Simon Burridge.
I've got a friend who does that. They've like literally subconsciously, almost like change their accent. You see them changing their accent.
Yeah.
I think there is a lot of. Not necessarily masking, but we do. Okay, I know that I do. It was always a subconscious thing, and now it's a conscious thing. What would somebody who really knew what they were doing in this situation be like, and be that?
Yeah.
But Ian McKellen said it's like a little kind of real sketch thing where somebody says, "How come you're such a good actor?" And he goes, "Well, I just imagine I'm the person that I'm playing."
That's
and
an
then
extra.
be them. Is that an extra? Is it? Yeah.
And then I do it.
Yeah. That's brilliant, but I think that's true.
I get a list of lines to say, and then I say them. Yeah. Sometimes they say, "I want you to be a wizard," so I become a wizard.
But that's like, it's just go, I'm imagining that person.
Yeah.
You imagine that you're the guy out of Tab Theory.
Yeah.
You just imagine you're him, and what would he do?
The hardest thing for the Tab Theory is I was directing and shooting.
Insane.
And
I don't know how.
Every time you filmed me bursting out of that cupboard.
Yeah.
And I was inside the cupboard reading the lines.
Yeah.
So I'd read my lines, burst out the cupboard and say it.
I forgot that was a cupboard actually, because it's meant to be the toilet.
It was meant to be the toilet door, but it was actually a cupboard with a toilet sticker on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then we shot it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Me in the toilet.
Yeah.
Did you shoot that? Was you there when we shot inside the toilet? I think you turned up just after.
You were already in the toilet. Yeah.
But you helped me with the Tab Theory, and I know you didn't film. You only filmed probably one day with me, but you helped me a lot on that, so I appreciate you.
That's great. I'd love to do more. I want to do more of that sort of thing. Really,
you took the time to read my script and give me feedback, stuff like that. So
I definitely want to do more of that sort of thing.
No, I do. I'm desperate to do something else.
That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
We should get a table of a few people around here and knock something out collectively.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
Can we all get green visors? And like low lights.
Playing poker.
Talk about, no, but it's like a serious table business.
Did you even do it? You never did. Did you do a table read for that?
I did an online Zoom. It was for
of course you did. Of course you did. Yeah,
remember I did a cartoon version of it.
Because it was the flipping pandemic, wasn't it? That was why.
So we was having to,
because I was not here.
Yeah. That was hard going. We were testing people as well. We were having to test people. Like I had to make that crowd look like a crowd of 100 people.
Yeah.
We had 15 or 20 people in the crowd. But
forgot that, of course.
Yeah.
That was difficult.
It was difficult. Yeah, especially
crazy.
doing making sure you was abiding by the law.
I forget that all of that ever happened.
The rules changed. Well, that's
like what?
We all had to
Do you remember when we all did that?
I was thinking, exactly this the other day. I thought that we've lived relatively recently through a global pandemic. That's quite sort of sci-fi kind of that's happened.
Absolutely.
That's actually happened.
28 days
and I walked,
later.
funny enough, yesterday, it was yesterday, literally yesterday. I was in Westminster and I walked along. If you go over Westminster Bridge and walk along the south bank to South Lambeth Bridge, there's that COVID memorial wall with all the hearts.
Right.
It's just got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of hearts for everyone that died. Actually, I forgot this
even happened.
It's weird. It does feel like it's been erased from our memory.
Yeah.
But I remember when we did that, everyone had to send in, before we did the filming,
a photo
photo of your test. What do you call those tests?
Your COVID test.
Yeah. And we had to send in a photo of it.
Yeah. What were they called? The up the nose?
Lateral
flow test.
It's all forgotten.
I've remembered something. That's really rare for me. Yeah, lateral flow test.
And the first time you do one, you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
I always thought it went that way, but it goes
right. Yeah.
I got really good at it though.
I
was able to go really deep.
Yeah, I got really good at it because I remember the first time I did one, or the first couple of times I did one. It's not until you have the test what do you call it, administered by somebody who knows what they're doing, that you think, okay, yeah, I've not been doing that right. Okay, but now I know. Thanks for that. Now I know.
But I was, when at the really early days in the pandemic, I was randomly chosen, as they chose like various members of the public, just to do a test.
Yes.
And I got a letter and then got sent a kit, and no one had done the test, and I did one. And then this guy just turns up with an unmarked van and like a kind of like polystyrene frozen box thing, and you put it in and you go, well, that's my DNA going off in this van.
What they're going
Which is really sort of sci-fi sort of
it was weird
time.
I lost friends as well.
Really? Yeah, that's bad.
Friends.
That's bad.
People that were just about to retire, literally just about to retire, had kids in their teens and gone.
Yeah.
Gone. Yeah.
So strange.
Yeah.
I never even had it.
I got it
it near the end. You never had it.
I got it very, 2022, something like that, 2021, 22, but very towards the end. And I got it the end of last year as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I got it once.
Didn't have it bad.
I had one day where I was just like, just literally, I just lie there suffering. Just one day, and it was kind of right after that.
Yeah.
But we never found out where it came from as well. That's a strange thing. It's never sort of been...
it's a weird one, isn't it? I don't think it's going to turn into conspiracy. Well, it's already
is. Oh my gosh.
But we're never going to know. It's going to be one of those. We're never
was it created in a lab?
But I'm not sure that it matters. And even if it was created in a lab, does it matter? Because germs still come from out of the same place, and something will still mutate.
I suppose the only reason it would matter is if it was done intentionally.
Intentional.
But that's going to be happening in some labs somewhere, regardless. As terrifying as that is, there will be somebody somewhere doing that kind of stuff. So me being upset about it or saying, please don't do that, Mr. Badman, is not going to change that. It's the same with nuclear warhead. This is taking a turn.
There's a vial of smallpox virus in existence, isn't there? And if that ever got
isn't there several? There's several, isn't there? And aren't there some missing?
Oh God!
I think there are some that they actually can't account for.
There's a whole Hollywood blockbuster in that.
I love it. That's the thing. It's like what in the grand scheme. So when people say, no, they're going to track me, and people are going to if they want to know anything about my life, they can, because there's really nothing interesting. If they want it, they can have it.
That's why the aliens are here. They're keeping an eye on us to make sure we don't do anything stupid.
Good.
Or to make sure we do. Is that what you are? Are you really?
Like that.
Is anything real?
I've been an alien.
Just this huge kind of lizard creature hiding, squeezed into something.
That foil plate's going to go around. So that's what I did when I was that alien. In that, I had a foil plate.
You did,
two foil plates stuck together with a hole.
So low budget, it was brilliant.
And I put it around my neck, so it looked like my head was hovering. Oh, it looked amazing.
I love it.
CGI.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Right. I would love you back. I would love you back.
Oh, I'd like to come back.
Because we've only just...
music.
Yeah, I think we get you to sing us out.
Haven't you?
I've got an idea. We should get you to sing us out.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can choose whatever you want.
I may need to, having thrown it on the floor, I may need to give it a little tune.
You'd probably sound better. And you don't talk about guitaring much, and you're a very good guitarist.
Oh, thank you.
I would like to tell you that. And you're not a show-off guitarist, though, but you can play anything. I know you can, and you don't show off, and I'm proud of you for that, because most guitarists are, have a look at this. Most guitarists are, have a look at this, but you've never been like that, and I've always appreciated your friendship, mate.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. But you know what? Funnily enough, when I was first wanted to do music, when I was like 15, whatever, I learned the guitar, and my school band, I didn't sing in my school band, and when I moved to Birmingham when I was about 21 or something, 22, I didn't go to uni there, but my brother was uni there. And I was still going to just be the guitarist. And we auditioned these singers. We've got advertised for a singer, probably in the back of the NME or something, like you did in those days. And 3 or 4 came along, and they were just all so bad that I just went, I'm just going to sing. I'll just do it. And done it ever since.
But
I was always meant to be. I was sort of intended to be a guitarist rather than a singer.
You've got one of those recognisable voices as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I can. You're probably the same because you're a singer. I don't like to. Ironically, having just spoken for all this time, I don't like to hear my speaking voice, but I don't have any problem listening to my singing voice.
Can't stand hearing either.
Oh, really?
Or watching myself.
She won't see herself or listen to herself.
Or watch myself. I would literally never leave the house again.
Oh, really?
I really,
I'm quite egotistical then, because I quite like listening to my
and Martin, who was the drummer in...
I'll take that back about the guitar in
he used to get really frustrated with me, and he's given me a couple of times in my life, he's given me some really good advice. And one was that you're just not that important, Kelly. So I remember, and it was such a relief when he said it, because I remember being at a gig and almost not being able to go on, because I was convinced that these people were looking at me and saying that I was ugly or crap and wow. he just said, Kelly, you are just not that important.
It's true though. It's so
and
true.
It was such a... He wasn't saying it to be unkind. It was just such a relief. He's like, as if the only thing they've got to talk about.
It's very but that's like a universal thing for everything, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it was like it was such a relief. And then he'd also said to me before that my own opinion of what I do, it bears no implication on anything.
It's very true. And I mean, how old's Tilly now? Is she teenage?
13.
Yeah, she's a teenager. Like teenagers, so self-conscious.
Yeah.
And it's self-conscious of you, and they go, "Oh, you're really embarrassing me."
Yeah.
And that point of you saying is actually, and everyone's self-conscious.
Yeah.
Like if you trip over in the supermarket, you're like, "Oh God, it's so embarrassing." Blah blah. But you're right. Nobody cares because they're too worried about themselves.
Yeah.
And
it's
like,
exactly that. You're not important.
We make ourselves so important by assuming that everybody else is that interested in what we're doing. It's like no one else cares. They've got their own stuff going on. Yeah.
You'll be amazed how common that is. You know, I know people that enter the awards a lot, and there was a particular awards that we enter every year. And I know a number of friends that enter this award in different categories, and they said, we're not entering it this year. But don't worry, we've made an announcement on Facebook.
Don't care.
I'm like, no one's going to give a shit. No one is going to give a shit.
Yeah.
But I really
just don't enter it.
Yeah.
I really think as well that we do it, and I don't think we do it because narcissistically. It's because we're the only person we're with all the time. We are the centre of our own universe. Not as in a narcissistic way, but we are the centre of our own universe.
You're the most famous person you know.
Everything comes here. We live in our own head. We hear our own self. And so I don't think it's a deliberate or an overly conscious thing that people do, but it's impossible for us to not put ourselves at the centre of something because we physically are it and we emotionally are it.
Yeah. But
you have to put yourself outside of that.
That fear of embarrassment.
Yeah.
That's such a powerful force, the fear of
really is.
Especially like in a public place or something on like a train or a plane or something, if you're going to do something embarrassing, it's weirdly sort of powerful thing.
Especially that stage environment, you know, you're putting yourself up there and saying, judge me.
And I love it.
Yeah.
I love to be on stage. I love to perform. I am an idiot and but as I said, my judgment of my own ability and what I do kind of doesn't come into it.
Yeah. But just to sort of tie that back to like the singing and music thing, is that like, as I say before, when I was kind of like with the film and kind of like, right, just got to reach this end goal, got to get success, got to make money out of this, blah, 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 blah. And then, but then I kind of like, what's interesting, what's really nice actually now is like, so I was saying, we did this recording in America because everybody in the band lives in different places in the world now. And it wasn't really for anything. No, it was just for itself's sake. I mean, we may do something. It'd be great if somebody picked it up or listened to it. It'd be fantastic. But that's not the end goal. Was just to
do it,
write music and record really cool. music and play music. And it's so nice to do it like that.
That's a liberation as well, isn't it?
You end up appreciating what you had back then.
Yeah.
And that's what why you do it again, innit?
Yeah.
You do it now you do it and you take it in the right way, like because you didn't do that originally.
Doing it for its own delight.
Because I'm always kind of
reason to do anything.
And I'm always forever writing songs. I've never stopped writing them. And there's loads of songs that no one will ever hear, and there's songs that hopefully some people might hear, but that's not what it's. I'm not gonna stop doing it just because nobody's gonna.
I've never written a song in my life.
Wow.
I don't think I've got anything that anybody wants to hear said. So it's just a vacuum.
I think you should sing a song out. Any way you want people to get hold of you, Woody, or see the band, or are you going to put it on Spotify? Are you going to put it somewhere?
Yeah. Or? So it's a bit confusing because the band was called Device, and the main album that we toured in America with was called All the Villains. Yeah. But then an American band,
you can still buy that on Amazon.
So it's on all the streaming platforms and everything. Yeah. but there was another American band, quite a big band, who then decided they were going to be called Device.
Right.
I guess we hadn't copyrighted the name.
Right.
So now we're sort of called All the Villains.
Oh, right,
so
fair enough.
Swapped it. So if you Google All the Villains and Device and any of the song names, then you'll find us. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing to go on to is Most Rated. Go and speak to Dan, because he started Most Rated up again.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be great.
Because all the Ghostship Lantern stuff's on there. He's using all of our stuff. He's probably earning from it, but he did put towards it as well.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've used this without asking none of yours permission.
Yeah, I mean, I do use it.
Yeah, we all use it. But it's our creation, so we can use it.
It's good for something. But
Most Rated. I need to get Dan in, actually, because he could talk about Most Rated. That'd be brilliant. Yeah. I wanted a reason to get him in, and I couldn't think of one.
There you go. But on the film side of stuff as well, I sort of operate as Leopard Gecko Productions.
Of course you do.
So if you just Google Leopard Gecko Productions again, you'll get.
My nephew's got a leopard gecko.
Oh,
it's very cute.
Yeah, I wasn't even sure what leopard geckos were. I just liked the word leopard and gecko.
They're really, really cute. They smile.
Yeah.
They are quite amazing, aren't they?
Really cute.
But the only problem is on my social, on the Leopard Gecko Productions socials, I get a lot of people
looking
following it because they're into leopard geckos, not because they want to.
Do you remember that time? I've worked with Leopard Gecko a couple of times. But originally I worked with you on that Rochester Airport.
Yeah.
He got a Rochester Airport.
That was great because Rach got to go out she was in it.
He said, we need someone to get in a plane and be instructed. So I rang Rach up. I said, what are you up to? She said, nothing. I said, come to Rochester Airport. She said, well, what am I doing? I said, don't worry about that, babe. And she gets in this plane. This bloke's turning the engine off in the air and everything. She's going up.
They did aerobatics, didn't they?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She did it all.
Amazing.
She did it all.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go. She will literally just,
she does anything. That's why she married me. She'd just do anything.
Well, exactly. She would do anything.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, thank you very much. Just, let's have a little play.
I don't feel like, I was going to play one that's quite sort of slow, but I don't know if that's...
That's all right.
Play whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then we'll hear this, and then we'll go.
Oh, that one's...
So Leopard Gecko Productions, The Device, or All the Villains. If you search, you'll find him.
You'll find it.
And Ghostship Lanterns.
I was going to say, you mentioned Ghostship Lanterns.
And the Musicians Review channel. Yeah.
And Most Rated.
Most Rated. Yeah, you got enough information there.
Yeah. Write it all down. We're testing you later.
www.cherrywoodpro.com/podcast. And Kelly, thank you once again, my love. I think... Oh, straight on the lips. She's been trying that her whole life. She finally got a kiss from the actor, Simon Burridge.
It would be the first time, but
thank
not
you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Really.
And thank you also to Rachel Kerridge, who also stood in for me in between you. So it's you, Rachel Kerridge. It's very close to Burridge.
Did you use someone else instead of me?
You can't do Tuesdays.
Oh, I can't do Tuesdays.
She can. She can't do Fridays, otherwise I got her in for all of it.
Rachel Kerridge and Rachel Burridge.
Yeah.
She can't do Fridays, otherwise you'd have got her in.
Oh, I might have glanced your breast just then. Sorry about that.
No, but you haven't kept hitting me today.
Quickly tune this in before we end up getting done for molesting.
And I was saying, do you remember when we had to change our name to More Than Human Band?
Yeah, weren't happy with that.
Oh, why? Because somebody else had it?
No, they asked for permission. And she went, yeah, go and have it. And I said, tell them bollocks.
Oh, it's nice of them to actually ask, though.
They did ask.
They did
American
ask.
as well.
And everyone said yes. And then about 3 days later, he was like, shouldn't have done that.
We went to More Than Human UK or something.
Yes. I mean, it was still More Than Human.
Okay.
So
you ready?
Where should I come back a little bit?
Yeah, you can come back a little bit. I can adjust as you go. It's all right.
Oh, God. When it's the weather, sorry, I look a bit freaky.
Oh, I thought it was Michael Jackson stuff he was doing.
Yeah, when it gets really cold, my fingers start cracking.
You need that O'Keefe's.
This isn't the lyrics I was planning. You were going to sing.
I'll send you a link.
When I get old and my fingers start cracking.
Just to see if that's going to hurt. Perhaps the pain will be good for a...
Yeah.
It might bring it out of the voice.
This is one of the ones we recorded in America.
We'll sing along with you.
Meet me in the soft dark hills where the stars shine down on the overkill. And the air tastes sweet above the heat from the factory. And I could stand and watch for hours as the spirits move through the office tower, Trading loans on dust and bone in the working hour. And as the sun comes up, 'cause the earth rotates, can we heal her now? Are we just too late? Well, we know ourselves when we've sealed our fate and realized there are no constants. There is a stream, runs wide and deep, beyond the pines where the wild dogs sleep. Place of clarity, maybe hope. There are voices in the static between the stations. Close your eyes, hear them whisper to the nations. Stand and fight, for there is no salvation. Stand and fight. And as the sun comes up, 'cause the earth rotates, can we heal her now? Are we just too late? Well, we know ourselves when we sealed our fate and realized there are no constants. The cold wind blows and the waters they rise. Oh, for no, these grand designs, we shade them all for a shot at the prize. It's to realize there are no constants. And as the sun comes up, 'cause the earth rotates, can we heal her now? Or are we just too late? Well, we know ourselves when we've sealed our fate and realize there are no constants.
Oh, well done, mate. Well done.
Sorry.
Don't worry. This podcast has been brought to you by Snug Dubs Camper Van Hire.
Roam the world, park anywhere.
That's snugdubs.co.uk.